Okay, a couple updates here in the solar power room. I have a SRNE 10 kilowatt inverter here as a backup to my Solarc 15K. However, power's getting a little low here. Haven't seen the sun in a while. It's telling me I should start charging now. When charging from the Solarc, I will show you what happens in the house. Gonna turn this down here. Okay, so my generator comes in here, and then here I can choose where the generator power is going. So if I switch this over, it will send power to the SRNE. But right now I want to show you how the Solarc charges. I used to have a Growatt 5000 ES here. That blew up. I have a thread on the DIY solar forum. We're gonna listen here. You'll hear it click over here shortly. There you go. So she's pulling and charging, but if you look, I don't know if you can see it on the screen or not, but the flickering of the lights in the house, because LEDs are so sensitive, can drive a person batty. So that is the whole reason that I have that there. So we're gonna do a little test here, or I'll show you. We're just gonna shut off. Actually, instead of shutting the generator right off. No, let's shut it off. Because there's a contactor that clicks out in here. I don't want that to, there you go. Okay, so I actually still use the Solarc to start the generator, because if I'm not home, I leave it in this mode where the Solarc does all the work. But if I'm here, like now, I'll do charging from the SRNE. So I'll show you, we're gonna switch this over. Now, whenever you are starting up an inverter that has been off, pre-charge the capacitors. I have a 48-volt light bulb here, and all that I do is stick it on the two terminals, and you can see that it lights up. You can blow or damage the capacitors inside the big inverter, and this one takes about 5 times longer than my Growatt ever did to charge up the capacitors. So there's some juice in there. Okay, and when the light bulb's basically off, then you're safe to turn on the breaker. So this goes to my battery bank, and I will turn that on. Okay, and then what I do, I have that thing set up charge at 95 amps constant, and one of the reasons I like to charge from the generator with a different inverter is that the load on the motor of the generator is constant. If you have it on the Solarc, every time a pump comes on or extra loads come on, the generator RPMs are fluctuating and it's trying to find its happy spot. But on here, it's just way smoother. So you can see it's already kicked over. Power's normal. But now there's a breaker here as well, which I turn on, and that's my generator input. And you'll hear the generator loading up with the amps. Beauty. just purring, pulling 20 amps from the generator, which is 5 kilowatt. It's a 7.5 kilowatt generator because I have it running on natural gas. But I am electrically off grid, so I do have to charge from natural gas, or I could also hook up a backup generator to that instead, but it needs a neutral, and then 3 to 1 in there. So this works really good. I run this for maybe 2 hours and then I'll shut it off and I'm good for the whole night, and then tomorrow there's usually enough sun to carry the loads. So then I hope for some sun. And the only downfall is the Solarc does not see any power coming in. The only thing it sees is proper DC voltage. And one very important lesson I learned when I blew up the grow watt: do not do this when there's solar coming in. When I had enough solar coming in to overtake the loads on my Solarc, it backfed the grow watt and blew out one of the circuits in there. So shout out to Signature Solar, they're replacing it for free, even though it was completely my fault. But that will just be a backup now. And the reason I got this one is because it already has split phase, so if the Solarc ever dies, this can at least go in its place temporarily while I replace the Solarc with something else or get it repaired. And that's it for now. Thanks for watching.